Good morning and thank you so very much for joining us on AM News. I am Susan Asoko. Now the news. 1 week into the resumption of primary and secondary schools for second term in the 2015-2016 session, academic activities have commenced in schools within Uyo, the state capital. We report that students and teachers are already in for a hectic time.
A visit to some schools in Uyo shows improvement in the turnout of students and teachers compared to that of last week. Apart from normal classroom work that has begun, management of some schools have continued to brief staff on what is expected of them for the term.
We have procured necessary school materials like chalk, exercise book for lesson notes of teachers, biro pens, and other relevant educational materials.
This second week, where we have enough children, and as you see, the school compound is well in order.
Some students say they are happy to be back to school.
It's good to come back to school too late. When I was in house, I focused on things. I come back to school to continue with my education and to read my books for the external examination.
I feel so happy and I feel so good to be in school one more time.
I feel very happy, very excited for me to come back from school, see all my colleagues, they are all well and fine.
One of the challenges facing public school administrators is how best to control the pupils and students from loitering during school hours. They offered some explanations.
We have a police officer at the gate 24 hours. We have the 3Y brigade men who drive the children into the school to stop them from loitering.
I've been warning them not to go out during school hours, not to loiter around in the streets.
The 2015-2016 academic session has only 11 weeks, and with 1 week already gone, the teachers and students are left with 10 weeks, and this might have explained why we have so much turnout of students and teachers in the various schools visited. In Uyo, Clement Barikui, NTA News.
In recent times, some parts of Uyo, the state capital, have been experiencing power outage and low voltage, which has affected resident and business operators. In Urban Blaze, who visited the affected areas, reports that residents are appealing to the Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution Company to restore and stabilize power supply in the area.
Some areas affected are Mbirebe, Obimo, Mbiabong, Ewet Housing, and Ewet Housing Extension. Residents of these areas say power supply has been very poor and has been an issue over a period of time.
I think that has been occurring, that has been taking place time without numbers. We have been experiencing such a problem here, especially in this aspect of this side of Mbirebe.
Last 2 weeks ago, and we don't have light here. Then that is the problem, and we really need light because of this our work. We need light well.
Since this 2016, I never see light.
Some business operators also lamented the poor power supply and low voltage, saying it has affected their businesses negatively as they have resorted to other alternatives, while others say the power outage is an advantage to their business.
It's affecting us because some people here, we don't have generator and we depend on this NEPA light of a thing.
I'm running a restaurant. Anything about this NEPA is very bad. For past how many days now, there is no light. And they are bringing highest bill. In this my shop, they are giving me 8,000.
You can see the kind of business we are doing, laundry business. So when people don't have light in their domiciles, they now bring clothes for us here to press it for them. So it brings business to us in the other aspect of it.
They are appealing to the relevant authorities to come to their aid and stabilize the power supply.
Government check us good so that we can have a normal light here, so that we can use it for our own business.
The government will help us to at least make the light to be stable. It would be very good.
I'm pleading to the government to come to our aid and see what they can do to help us, because
we are suffering.
On arrival here at the Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution Company, the branch manager would not grant us interviews. According to him, he is not allowed to grant interviews to the press. Rather, he directed us to the zonal office in Uyo, in Urban Blaze, NTA News.
Residents of Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital, are optimistic that petroleum dealers will dispense the premium motor spirit, also known as fuel, at the approved pump price of 86 naira 50 kobo once the depot owners comply with government directives. Utbe Achibong in the special reports visited some filling stations within the metropolis and reports that the product still sells for between 110 naira and 120 naira.
Premium motor spirits, popularly known as fuel, serves a lot of purpose, including socio-economic activities, and enhances movement. The product, although available in most of filling stations in Uyo, is sold beyond government-approved pump price of 87 naira. Some motorists, while speaking with NTA News, say independent marketers should comply with the directives of government and sell the product at 87 naira.
Other independent marketers are selling at the right price that the government said they should sell, then the relief will be so much for the masses.
Supposed to sell in a price that the federal government gave them to sell, but as that now as you can see, you are buying it at the rate of 110 naira. So as against, I heard whether 86 or whether 87 naira.
A visit to some filling stations indicates that while most independent marketers dispense the product, only one major marketer was seen dispensing, and at the rate of 87 naira. Commuters stated that petroleum dealers should endeavor to be sincere and set their meter correctly, noting that some dealers under-dispense.
As I feel comfortable buying here than other area. Be sincere in what they are doing. From the president to the common person, people should be sincere. The president should be sincere in what he is doing. Myself should be sincere in whatever I'm doing.
They, however, call on government to set a policy that will make independent dealers to comply with the directives of government so that the products can be affordable by all.
It's in their powers to enforce them to sell, and it all depends on how much they are getting the fuel.
Things are very difficult. I mean, with the economy right now, we can't be selling fuel at the price we are selling. We can't be selling because it's difficult for the common people. It's very difficult to buy fuel at 130 naira per liter.
In Uyo, Utbe Achibong, NTA News.
The University of Uyo has held its 2016 interdenominational Thanksgiving service with a charge on the congregation to trust and depend on God for more blessings. The event, which took place at the Onyema Ugochukwu Hall, had the management, clergy, staff and students of the institution in attendance. Jenny Bassey reports.
The annual Thanksgiving service of the University of Uyo is aimed at thanking God for the gift of life and goodwill in the year 2016. Setting the tone for the event, the Registrar, University of Uyo, Mrs. Edakumondak, enjoined all stakeholders, management and students to rededicate themselves to God and acknowledge His love and mercies upon their lives.
Though we cannot see ahead, you can see every curve, you can see every valley, you can see every mountain. But we know that in His mercy, in His grace, He will see us through.
Vice Chancellor, University of Uyo, Professor Nefio Essien, while enumerating the importance of Thanksgiving, urged the congregation to continually draw close to God through prayers and praise.
The fact of being able to stand here now to talk is the reason why I should thank God. The ability to come out here, sit up there, that many cannot sit. Many cannot even lie down, I tell you. They're not sure what posture to adopt. But here we are. So we have cause to thank God.
In his sermon, Senior Pastor, Inside Bible Church, Pastor Silvano Sukafia, who preached on the theme, Fulfilling Purpose, admonished all to work towards the progress of the institution.
God has a purpose for this university. And whether you are a staff or student, there's a purpose why you are here. My prayer for you is that this year you will fulfill that purpose.
The event featured special thanksgiving for the university community led by Vice Chancellor Professor Anefio Essien. Intercessory prayers were also offered for the new administration, management, staff and students of the institution, as well as special rendition by choir groups. Jennifer, NTA News.
Christians have been enjoined to shun all forms of evil and turn to Christ for their liberation. Reverend Effiong Isangadgi gave the church during the first anniversary of Global Community Liberation Mission held at United Evangelical Church, Ibiakuitam 2, Itu local government area. John Paul Alumina has the report.
The event, which attracted clergymen, traditional rulers, and some Akwa Ibom people, was full of celebration as they thanked God for liberating Akwa Ibom State from bondage. In his sermon, Reverend Effiong Isagidigi, who preached from Psalm chapter 92, verse 1, and Revelation chapter 5 to 9, and chapter 10, verse 3, urged Christians to give their lives to Christ in order to be liberated from bondage. He admonished Christians to cultivate the habit of thanksgiving in order to get more blessings from God.
If you have not given your life to Christ, I want you to learn to appreciate God. Surrender your life to Jesus Christ. Then learn to thank Him, because when you thank Him, He opens every closed door for you.
The coordinator of the Division Liberation Mission International, Reverend Joshua Klupas, said God had liberated Akwa Ibom State from the day Scottish people came to the state and forgave them their curses after many generations. Reverend Klupas presented a symbol of forgiveness to the people given to him on the 17th of January last year.
So I call on the Akwa Ibom State to turn away from idols and worship the living God. Let us come together and unite.
The event featured dedication of newsletter, presentation of certificate to the traditional rulers, and cutting of first anniversary cake by members of the global mission. Various choir groups trailed the worshippers with heart-lifting songs. Some worshippers shared their joy.
In my community, Ukubuku, we do not do those sacrifices when we want to marry the first daughter.
It's a good thing to remember the very day ministers came down to Akwa Ibom and handed over the symbol of peace.
Special prayers were offered for the group and for peace and unity in the state and nation. Inuyo, John Paul Alumon, NTA News.
Sports Desk. Home-based Super Eagles has defeated Niger 4-1 in the second game of Group C in the ongoing 2016 Nations Championship CHAN in Rwanda. The first half ended with a goalless score, but the Nigerians came into second half smoking, which led to the 4 goals in the second part of the game. Details of this report will come in a subsequent bulletin. A quick look at the weather prospects for today, Tuesday, January 19, 2016, shows that the morning period will be cloudy at 23 degrees Celsius, the afternoon period will be sunny at 33 degrees Celsius, and the evening period will be cloudy at 29 degrees Celsius. And just before we end the news, let's take a quick look at the major stories. 1 week into the resumption of primary and secondary schools for second term in the 2015-2016 academic session, educational activities have commenced in schools within Uyo, the state capital. The University of Uyo has held its 2016 interdenominational Thanksgiving service with a charge on the congregation to trust and depend on God for more blessings. We also heard in the news that some part of Uyo, the state capital, have been experiencing poor power supply, which has affected residents and business operators. That is a package on AM News. We thank you very much for being a part of it. But for our tip of the day, always remember that no act of kindness, no matter how little, is ever wasted. Impact a life positively today. That's the news. Join us again at 7 p.m. for more reports. Good morning. Hello there, and thanks for joining us on this program, Health Matters.
As humans, we all have that natural desire to fit in or to belong. If that desire is left unchecked, we can cave in or give in to peer pressure. So how can you deal with peer pressure? Welcome to Adwell Half Hour. My name is Mercy Madden. Please stay with us.
Welcome to this week's edition of Health of Mansion, coming to you on NTA Channel 12.
My name is Jenny Bassi, anchoring this program Issues of the Moment and urging you to sit back and enjoy the program.
Safety on our roads is a program that is brought to help you stay safe always as a road user. This program is brought to you from NTA Channel 12, your dependable station.
It's good to have you join us on Hope Alive, reaching you from NTA Channel 12, your dependable station. My name is Patrick.
This is your program Society Cocktail, reaching you from NTA Channel 12, your dependable station.
Hello, I am glad to welcome you to the assembly. We sincerely appreciate you for your participation on this program. Thank you for joining us. I am Ifoma Advocate.
Welcome to this week's edition of Replay, coming to you from NTA Channel 12, your dependable station. I am yours sincerely, John Paul.
Welcoming you to the program Growing Up, reaching you from your dependable TV station, NTA Channel 12. My name is Miriam.
These and more on NTA Channel 12, your dependable station. Keep a date with us.